For the first time in 10 years, the Phoenix Suns will make the playoffs. Let's talk about it. Boys are back, fresh off an 8-0 record in the bubble, barely missing the playoffs. But now they got some fresh faces and departures of fan favorites. Now we got Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, and a low-key signing of Langston Galloway. I think that will help for sure that backup point guard spot. We do lose Ricky Rubio and Kelly Oubre, who Kelly Oubre, let's be honest, changed the culture of the team. Valley Boys, all that stuff. Like, this team had no identity since Steve Nash left in the 7 seconds or less. Trading for Kelly Oubre from the Washington Wizards, which is one of the dumbest trades on the Wizards side, but for the Suns, getting Oubre for Ariza, which was a wasted signing, whatever. He changed the team. He changed the culture of the team. He was honestly the heart and soul of the team. Now he's gone. But I think you had to make that trade with Rubio, who I also loved and thought he was great for the team, veteran leadership. Getting Chris Paul, that's a 10 out of 10. You have to do that trade if you're available to do it. It reminded me of when the Suns could have made the move for Kyrie Irving back when it was like for Eric Bledsoe and Josh Jackson. The Suns didn't pull the trigger on that. Same with like they could have got Porzingis for a similar package, but they didn't do that either a couple years ago. But now they finally make the move to get a star player. And playoffs. Let's talk about it. I think the Phoenix Suns will make the playoffs this year. 538 has them projected winning 42 and going 42 and 30, being the 4th seed, which is a pretty big jump from not making the playoffs in over a decade. Like I said, I was in the 5th grade the last time they made the playoffs. But I agree with them. 42 and 30. I mean, records are kind of hard to predict, but I would say that's pretty on point. 4th seed, that's pretty crazy, but like, I think it's possible. But I do want to talk about the bench depth, because I think that's the biggest hole in this team. I think the starting 5 is amazing. I do like Jay Crowder if you bring him off the bench, or you start him at the 4. Do you go back with Cam at the 4? They're not going to start Jalen Smith. That's kind of obvious. But the playmaking from the backup guards, that's going to be the biggest issue on this team, I feel like, going out through the year. I love Javon Carter. I think he's a bulldog, treadmill mentality, all that. I think he's great. I love him. Is he our backup point guard? Is he a playoff backup point guard? I don't know. Maybe. I guess we'll find out this year. And then we also have Campaign. And I like Campaign. I thought he had a great bubble. I think he averaged like 11. He had good numbers. Like, I liked him. I think he's fine. I like him as a guard. I think I like him more as the 3rd point guard, which I guess he kind of is. Then they also signed Detroit's Langston Galloway, who is a good 3-point shooter. He's had a pretty good preseason. And I think that's who I would go with as the backup point. I think Etuan Moore will most likely be the backup shooting guard. And I do like this team, but also I think what's really shaky is also the backup center position, who they have Damian Jones. I don't know if that many people even know who Damian Jones is. He was with the Warriors for a little bit back when they had KD, and I thought he was pretty fine over there. I don't know. I think it's pretty shaky, because especially with Ayton, since we've had Ayton on the team, I feel like they've always had a decent backup center rotation. Like we had Rashawn Holmes for a little bit, and then we moved into Baines, and I love Darren Baines. I thought he was great. But I don't know if Damian Jones, like, is that a playoff backup center? I don't know. I do like the wings, the backup wings. But I do think there's some names out there. They just released John Motley, who I thought was whatever. I thought he was all right in the preseason. But who I would go after, Frank Kaminsky is available right now, Frank the Tank. I think that'd be interesting to go back after, but I don't know. He's all right, but, he's Frank Kaminsky. He doesn't really move the needle, per se. But there is one guy who I think could be all right, and, you probably only give him a veteran's minimum and he'd come by, and that's Dwayne Dedmon, who 2 years ago with Atlanta did shoot 38% from 3, which is pretty impressive for a big man. He's a good shot blocker. He had a terrible year with Sacramento. Was that, like, last year? And then they traded him. He's a free agent right now, basically. He's not doing nothing. He's sitting at home. I say give him a chance, especially with the roster spot. I'm pretty sure they would have enough in the veterans minimum to pick him up. And I just think they need to fill up those holes, and I think this team is pretty solid. I don't know if I'm not saying they're winning a championship, but I do like this team. And I think playoffs are all but set in stone. But the real question is, will Devin Booker, what jump is he going to have this year? Because he's improved every year. Going into his 6th year, I think he could be a dark horse MVP candidate. Some people might think I'm crazy, might think I'm reaching on this take, but Devin Booker, in my opinion, is a dark horse MVP candidate, and let me just lay it out for you. The man averaged 26 and 7 basically last year. Improves his numbers every year. Why would this upcoming season be any different? Now you're adding Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, a little more help on the bench. Monty has another year with the team. Ayton's growing as a center. He could be a perennial all-star in a couple years. Devin Booker most likely be an all-star this year with a winning record. Like, Devin Booker, in my opinion, is one of the best shooting guards in the league. He's awesome. He's clutch as hell. His assists, some people thought last year with Rubio assists were going to drop. They didn't. So that probably won't happen again. They might improve if anything. He has so much shooting around him this year. They're going to have a winning record. They're going to be awesome. And this is still Devin Booker's team. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, Chris Paul came. Yes, he's the quote-unquote leader of the team. But this is Devin Booker's team. He's going to be hitting the clutch shots. He's going to have great numbers. And if everything hits like people think it will, I don't see why he wouldn't be an MVP candidate and in the conversation. But that's just my opinion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. So that's my thoughts on this upcoming Suns season. Playoff ready. Playoff team. 10 years. I was in the 5th grade the last time they were in the playoffs, but it's finally our year. This is the start of something amazing in this city. I love the big three. Monty is a great coach. Coach of the year buzz this year, I believe. They got to get a good enough record to get it, obviously, but I just love the trend this team's going. James Jones has done a fantastic job as the GM. And I'm just happy to be a Suns fan right now, and I'm so looking forward to this season. And yes, this is my first video, and I will be covering a lot of Suns. I'm going to try to cover every game. I'll cover also other NBA topics. Just let me know what you guys wanted me to talk about. And stay sunny.